Hi everyone, I'm Geppy, the main producer of Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Starting today, I'll be sharing with you all the latest information as the main producer. We hope you enjoy. For today's video, we'll reveal information on new characters coming on May 7th, as well as events detailed for the Gohan, Goku, and Goten Day campaign. Make sure to watch until the end. Now then, let's get right into the new characters information. For the new characters arriving on May 7th, we have prepared a trailer. Here it is!
Should have known. It never ends. Well, so much for our long-lasting peace.
Long ago, a small group of pure-hearted Saiyans questioned the evil committed by their race and decided to lead a revolt. To ensure victory, they pooled their power to create a savior, a Super Saiyan God.
And here I was hoping for an actual fight worth my time. Just give up now. It's time to go all out!
Pretty good, don't you think? In this year's Gohan, Goku, and Goten Day campaign, a dual Dokkan Festival featuring new Super Saiyan God Goku and new battles will take place. This time, you will be able to exchange 300 Dokkan Festival coin limited 16 for Super Saiyan God Goku ones and Beerus ones. You can obtain the same Dokkan Festival coin from easier summon, so use this chance to recruit both characters. Now, let's get into detail of these new characters. First off, we have Super Saiyan God Goku. Check out his in-game animations. Here you go!
Long ago, a small group of pure-hearted Saiyans questioned the evil committed by their race and decided to lead a revolt. To ensure victory, they pooled their power to create a savior, a Super Saiyan God.
I never would have been able to reach this strength alone. It's time to go all out!
How did you like it? We recreated one of the most iconic scenes in the movie Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, where Goku was defeated by Beerus but was able to make a comeback with the power of his allies. Up next is his abilities.
His type is Super Agility, with his categories being as shown. And here is his leader skill. Realm of Gods, Miraculous Awakening, or Power of Vicious category, Ki +3, HP +200%, and Attack and Defense +170%. Plus an additional HP, Attack and Defense +50%, for characters who also belong to the Legendary Existence, Bond of Friendship, or Movie Heroes categories. Next, let's talk about his super attack. His super attack, Dragon Smash, can greatly raise attack and raise defense for 4 turns, and cause immense damage to the enemy. And now, let's see his passive skill. When there is another Realm of Gods category ally on the team upon his entry, his entrance animation will be activated, and he'll gain the following effects. Attack and defense plus 510% and damage reduction rate plus 20% for 1 turn. Also, after the entrance animation is activated, he can launch an additional super attack during battle. The basic effects are as follows. Ki plus 2 and attack and defense plus 300%. Chance of evading enemy's attack plus 20% and chance of performing a critical hit and damage reduction rate plus 30%. Plus, when attacking, his attack will be increased by 200% and when receiving an attack, his defense will be increased by 250%. What's more, per Pure Science or Hybrid Science category ally on the team, his attack and defense will be increased by 100%, and his chance of evading enemy's attack will be increased by 10% before attacking. If the character or an ally attacking the same turn is KO'd, when all allies attacking the same turn are Realm of Gods category characters, or KO'd when there is a total of 6 or more Pure Science or Hybrid Science categories allies on the team, he can receive with 50% HP recovered. After the character's or an ally's revival skill is activated, his chance of evading enemy's attack will be increased by 20% within his next attacking turn, and his attack and defense will be increased by 510% in battle. And after the character's or an ally's revival skill is activated, his chance of evading enemy's attack plus 30% when attacking. Also, after the character's revival skill is activated, his attack will be increased by 150% when attacking. Since the effects upon entry are very powerful, be sure to have him in a position where he can make up for the weak points of other characters. If you strategize around the use of his revival skill, you will have an advantage in many stages, so keep that in mind when trying him out. Lastly, we have his active skill. His active skill, Limit Breaker Kamehameha, can be activated after his revival skill is activated, or starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. Its effects are as follows. Greatly raises attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage to enemy. Attacks effective against all types and guaranteed to hit within the turn activated.
That's all for Super Saiyan God Goku. Now let's go over Virus. Have a look at his in-game animations. Enjoy!
He's certainly waking early this time, isn't he? Should have known. It never ends. Well, so much for our long-lasting peace.
And here I was hoping for an actual fight worth my time. Just give up now.
How did you like it? Next, let's look at his abilities.
The type is Super Intelligence, and the categories are as shown. Here's the leader skill. Realm of Gods, Planetary Distraction, or Successors category, Ki plus 3, HP plus 200%, and attack and defense plus 170%. Plus an additional HP, attack and defense plus 50%. For characters who also belong to the legendary existence, Siblings Bond, or movie bosses category. Next up is the super attack. His super attack, God of Destruction's Rampage, can raise attack and greatly raise defense for 4 turns, and cause immense damage to the enemy. Now, onto the passive skill. His entrance animation will be activated when there is another Realm of God category ally on the team upon his entry, and his damage reduction rate will be increased by 30% for 1 turn, and he can foreseize enemy super attack for 3 turns. Also, once the entrance animation is activated, his defense will be increased by 510% for the rest of the battle. The basic effects of his passive skill are as follows. Ki +2 and attack and defense plus 300%, guards all attacks and great chance of launching an additional super attack. He also has excellent support abilities. Realm of Gods category allies defense plus 30%, plus an additional attack and defense plus 50%, chance of performing a critical hit and chance of evading enemy's attack plus 25%, and damage reduction rate plus 10%, for characters who also belong to the Planetary Destruction category. Additionally, for allies whose names include Whis, their chance of evading enemy's attack will be increased by 10%. When attacking, his attack will be increased by 200%, and when receiving an attack, his defense will be increased by 250%. Plus, after receiving or evading an attack, his attack will be increased by 200% and his chance of performing a critical hit will be increased by 30% for 4 turns. When receiving an unarmed super attack, he has a great chance of nullifying it and countering with tremendous power. If there is a Realm of Gods category enemy, he can nullify it and counter with ferocious power. Also, this character's key feature is that its passive effects change depending on the enemy's category. When there is a Realm of God category enemy, his ki +3 and attack plus 300%, and he can launch an additional super attack. Also, all Realm of God category allies' attack will be increased by 30%, plus an additional attack plus 50% and chance of performing a critical hit plus 25%, for characters who also belong to the Planetary Destruction category. Plus, he can grant the effect attack and defense plus 100% to allies whose name include Whis. When there are no Realm of God category enemies, he gains the following effects. Great chance of ki +3 and attack plus 300%, great chance of launching an additional super attack, damage reduction rate plus 20% before attacking. This character's support effect and his own endurance change based on the enemy's categories, so remember to check the enemy's category information before taking on challenge events. Lastly, let's have a look at the active skill. His active skill, God of Destruction Edict, can be activated when HP is 77% or less, or starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. The effects are as follows. Greatly raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to enemy and recovers 30% HP. Realm of God category allies, ki +2 and attack and defense plus 20%, and Planetary Destruction category allies, ki +2 and attack and defense plus 20% for 1 turn. For 1 turn, Realm of God category allies, ki +2 and attack and defense plus 20%, and Planetary Destruction category allies, ki +2 and attack and defense plus 20%. And that wraps up his abilities.
And that's everything for our brand new characters. Now then, it's time to dive into the campaign details.
Gohan, Goku, and Goten Day login bonus. Login during the campaign period to earn up to 60 Dragon Stones. Make sure you don't miss a single day. Moving right along, we have Gohan, Goku, and Goten Day special missions. By clearing missions, you can earn up to 16 Dragon Stones and 20 Book of War Song Family. The Book of War Song Family is a special treasure item that lets you recruit characters related to Goku's family at Baba's shop. This time, the lineup, in addition to some LR characters, will include the newly added characters Pan and Bardock. This will be your chance to recruit all sorts of characters, so be sure to take on the challenge and aim to clear the missions. That's everything for our campaign details. Alright, let's move on to the event information. First up, an event is making its comeback. The limited attempt events, Stronger Than Ever, Super Training of Goku's Family. In this event, you can obtain EX skill ores exclusive to Goku's Family category. You can take on this event once per day, so don't forget to play every day. Next up, new stages are being added to Union Master. In these new stages, you'll need to include either 3 or 5 characters from the Bond of Master and Disciple category on your team. Compared to other challenge events, this one is relatively easier, so even if you're new, please make sure to give it a try. But that's not all. A new stage will be added to Serious All Out Battle 2. This time, you will be facing Super Saiyan God Goku and Beerus. Summon tickets can be obtained by clearing a certain missions from the Inevitable Showdown extra missions that will be added alongside this stage. You can use these summon tickets to perform summons in the summon event featuring the new characters, so be sure to take on the challenge. Next up, this. A special summon where you can obtain a character with alternate art will be held in May. Alternate art is when a character that is already available has a different illustration for their card illustration. As for their ability and super attack animations, they will be the same as their original counterparts. We are planning to implement this summon periodically in the future. We are also preparing other methods to recruit these characters, so we hope you will enjoy collecting them. Please wait for further announcements to discover who they will be.
That wraps up all the event information. Continuing, let's head into the X-Team Z Awakening information. These characters can be X-Team Z Awakened or Super X-Team Z Awakened during the campaign period. Best measured, Whis can be X-Team Z Awakened. And global harmony through this selection, Beerus and Whis can be Super X-Team Z Awakened. Details about their abilities will be disclosed at a later date on our social media accounts. Let's move on to update information.
In June, we're going to add a revamped skill orb filter and the new batch sale feature. These two updates were highly requested by many of players through surveys and feedback. They have been implemented in Japan, and we are preparing to roll them out globally as well. With the revamped skill orb filter, you will be able to check the equipping conditions and level at a glance via icons. We aim to make it easier for everyone to search and use skill orbs. The batch sale feature allows you to select and sell batches of characters or Holocu statues. You will also be able to batch select characters by reality, so we hope that you will find this feature useful. What's more, we will be implementing a button that can take you from the item list screen to Baba's shop, creating a smoother item exchange process. You will also be able to batch exchange items in Baba's shop. We are still working on them, so please stay tuned for further updates. Now, we'd like to share the latest updates on app file size reduction, which we've been mentioning since last year. In order to improve the gameplay experience for everyone, we are considering some methods to reduce the game size. As part of that, in a future update, we are going to implement a new data download option. While the current download all allows you to download all the data at once. The new option will download data only when needed. Unused data will be prioritized for removal, reducing the necessary storage space. Players will be able to choose between the usual download all and the new option based on their gameplay environment. We are also considering the implementation of methods to reduce the size of both options. The update is planned within this year, 2026, so we'll keep you informed on further adjustment to improve the app environment.
And that's all for update information. Finally, let's go over the upcoming campaign schedule. We mentioned this in the March producer letter, but this year, the Transcendence Dokkan campaign will be held in July, and the Global Dokkan campaign will be held in September. Look forward to the updates. And that's for all the information we'd like to share today. Some of the campaign will start soon. We hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching until the end. Let's meet in the next video. See you!